Hey, Sad Nation, what's going on? Good evening to you all, or good morning. Really depends on where you're at this world. I hope you all had a wonderful, beautiful weekend, had some time to do some other things than look at the market or see my tweets, and most importantly, just get rested from the last week, right? There is fatigue in all things we do, even the market. I'm going to come at you with a market overview for this week, in particular tomorrow. We'll touch a little bit about econ data and also about potential earnings for this coming week. This is for educational purposes, not financial advice. You alone are responsible for whatever actions you take from this. Let's get into it. What you see on the screen right now is SPY on the daily time frame, right? Nothing has really changed in terms of my drawing. I did remove the head and shoulders just to make it cleaner, but I will put it back in right now so you can see what I'm talking about. Right here's the, you know, and then we're talking about the shoulders, and obviously shoulders here, inverse head and shoulders. Here's the shoulders, head, other shoulder. Again, this yellow line does not represent exactly where price is going to go. I'm just drawing out quickly for you to see. As you can see, even this shoulder here, way below the the actual price point. But just want to keep you aware of this. If you're new to technical analysis, inverse head and shoulders is a bullish pattern. So we did reject off this imbalanced supply liquidity zone that had drawn out for a long time now, actually, because we were playing to the long side, and this is where I was aiming for and saying, watch this area as a rejection point, and we did, and we came down quite a bit, right? We were around almost 460, almost like 458.9, and then we came down to 433.2. So it definitely took a big pullback. And if you don't use this shoulder, you can say this is a cup and handle, right? Here's your cup, here's your handle, and then back to the upside. Um, the other thing that you saw is that I drew this upward trend channel, which was formerly a rising wedge, right? Figured trend channel might be a little bit more easy for people to relate with and see and understand what's going on. But I drew this and I tweeted this out earlier today to see if whether you all just wanted something like this versus my normal with all my indicators, all my two indicators, which is the EMA clouds and the 50 and 200-day moving average, along with my levels. But look, let's just kind of quickly look at the levels and what we got going on. We do have a gap to the downside, and this is not the right number. Apologize about that. Let me just fix that up. This is supposed to be 3, not 4. 393 to 398. We have a gap created way back when in early March. We have another gap at 407 to 408. There's another one right here, 422 to 423, basically 424. That would be the next gap that we would be targeting if we are looking for a continuation to the downside. We do have imbalance zones that I have listed out up here. So let me just elongate it so you can see. So we do have 1, 2, 3 imbalance zones to the top side, and this is also a gap here, right? So this gap is pretty much from 455.5 to down to about 453.5. So about $2 gap, which ironically relates to this imbalance zone, right? We have another imbalance zone directly above Friday's price action, right? From 437.5 to 439.5, and then another one at 441.4 to 442.3. Now, you may be asking what these imbalance zones are, right? This is just where there is not an equilibrium between the buy and sell side, and that just means that there are trapped buyers here waiting to get out, right? So that just means that once we hit these zones, we're going to look for some kind of reaction, right? Whether it's a rejection and back down, or it breaks through and goes to the next level. And that really is going to be dependent upon, the quantity there, right? And, you can look at the quantity using other tools such as order flow and whatnot, but we won't know without just looking at the chart, right? You may be able to look at the option chain too and see where people are buying. That's another way to do it. There's a various tools out there, but this is an imbalance zone, so we are going to expect some kind of reaction. Doesn't mean that as soon as we get here we reject or consolidate, but we do expect something to happen once it gets to these zones, right? Last week was a two down day and a two down week, right? So let's see, we can go to the weekly, definitely two down week. So we had a two down day. We did break the July's low, which I think was around 437. It was right around here, 437 and some change, right? And I've been calling it for a while now, right? When we started rejecting off this, I'm like, look, if we stay below 440, I think 448, we're going to take out the monthly low, and that was a 10-point move. So you could have took a 10-point swing, and you would have made bank. I actually entered swings right around this area, right when it was like 445, 449, and I had a month long expiration. I did have to ride it out to the top side, but I just had conviction to the downside based on the strategy I trade and based on price action, right? So look, we are overextended on the clouds. You can see that. So, if we take the top of the candle, we're about 4 points overextended to the downside. So we do expect some kind of pullback, right? It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to hit the top of the clouds or the bottom of the clouds, I should say. But we do expect some kind of pullback when prices overextend like that. You can see even over here, look, on June 15th and June 16th, right? Overextended, eventually started pulling back the subsequent day. And then, a couple of days later, we pulled back to the clouds and then into the clouds, right? So from June 15th to June 26th, we went from 443 all the way down to 431, right? So 12-point move, right? Not bad. Same thing, overextended again here, came back, overextended here, came back. And then it all always comes back to the clouds, what I say, right? We're overextended to the downside, came back, even up over here, right? So we are expecting a pullback, right? Based on technicals, right? This is just technical analysis, not anything to do with news related or whatnot. This is technical analysis, right? So tomorrow, depending on what futures does tonight, if futures continues to goes up and holds, then we will make a 2-2 reversal, 2-2 update tomorrow. However, if futures decides to take a dump, then we may make a either inside day or a two down day. It really depends what futures does tonight, because the price on Friday's action was a decent move, right? It was let's just kind of measure it out. How much was the move on Friday, right? So 4.5-point move, which is pretty much the full ATR for SPY. So it will make a most likely a directional move, meaning that it's either going to be an up or a down day in terms of the strat, two up or two down. I don't really think it's going to be an inside day just because the price wasn't crazy like it was on Thursday or even on Wednesday. So the candle is normal size. So I do think we will make a directional move tomorrow. Again, so we're looking for right now, based on what futures doing, we're expecting maybe a 2-2 up tomorrow, along with the fact that we are overextended on the daily time frame, and also just because we just had a monstrous week last week, just to push down. So we are expecting some kind of consolidation / pullback. Let's go to the weekly time frame now, right? Weekly time frame. Look, we had a massive 2 down week, but then ended up becoming a spinning top, right? Look, we can measure it out. Let's just do it for sake fun of it, right? Let's see. Top is $3.04. Bottom is 341 and 349, right? That's pretty much even, right? That is as neutral as you can get. So it does mean that price could be shifting, right? I think I've told you this many times before. This is candlestick patterns, Japanese candlestick patterns, right? It's a spinning top, and if it's smaller, then it's gonna be doji. Like this is doji, but it's a neutrality candle, just meaning that a shift or in momentum could be coming. Just like when we had it up here. Here was a spinning top or a spinning top to the upside, and then what happened in the next week? We had a massive down week, and then we had another spinning top, right? but it was still bearish. So we just want to be conscious of it. Doesn't mean that once we have a spinning top automatically that it's going to flip and reverse. It just means that we need to be aware that something could be going on, right? If you also look at this channel that we drew, we did kind of break through this the median point, and we are below it. So, in my opinion, this week on the weekly time frame, if we can remain below the 50% for the week, let me just draw this out. For some reason, my weekly got screwed up. Apologize about that. So the weekly should actually be at 440.56. That's where it should be at. Okay, let's do this real time for you guys. So as long as we can remain below the weekly, 50% in my opinion, we will come and test this 21 EMA around 431. And if we can break through that, then we will attempt to come down to 34 EMA, which is around 423, and which is also happens to be this gap down here, right? So that is what we'd be looking at. If we break above the 50% of the weekly, then obviously we'd be looking for the 442, and then potentially try to take out last week's high. Most likely, really depends on what is going to happen on Wednesday, which is NVIDIA's earning. That will be the market mover for us. And then we have Wednesday through Friday is Jackson Hole, but I will show you that in a little bit. But like I said, based on the fact that on the weekly time frame we closed in the clouds, now we're going to be looking between the the weekly 8 EMA and 21 EMA, which is what 21 is around 431, 8 is looking probably around like 442.4. Let's go to the monthly now, right? The monthly, we made that month, right? We called it. I called it. Told you guys and girls about that. So we can see we are still overextended on the monthly time frame, right? Monthly is around 427.5 or 15 now. Doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna come to that, right? Different time frames. How the overextension works is a little bit different than it is on a smaller time frame. Small time frame, it usually hits it and then does a flip or not. On the monthly time frames, it's a little bit different. It takes a little bit longer, and then the breakthrough is going to be a little bit different than it is on a small time frame. But again, we are overextended on the monthly, and we do have a 2 down red month right now, right? The best thing I've been saying is like we can continue further down, get closer to clouds, and then we'd be looking for a 2-2 up reversal month in September. But it really depends on what we do for the rest of August. All right, let's go back to the daily real quick, right? So if we go back to the 30 minutes, we still have, we are still in a bearish trend right now, right? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We're still lower highs, lower lows all the way down, right? So that trend will break if we break above this 441 tomorrow or this week, right? Once we break above that, then the break of structure, BOS, starts to happen. Then we got to look and see whether we stay above. As long as we stay above 433, then we are still making a lower or higher low then. So it really is going to be dependent on what happens this week. And we can draw, this downward channel, right? We have this downward channel here that we're looking at, right? So that's kind of like what we're looking at and playing right now. So, but like I said, on a larger time frame, we are, in my opinion, still bullish. But on a intraday, shorter time frame, within a week or two, we are still bearish. I am expecting a somewhat of a pullback tomorrow between now and tomorrow morning, and then we potentially will hit a imbalance zone or a key supply zone, and then maybe continue to leg down if the bulls just do not get enough momentum right now. If we look at futures, right, futures, same thing, guys and girls, like ES, SPY, SPX are all the same in terms of movements. Now, their price will move a little differently, meaning that it's not 1-to-1 ratio, but as SPY goes up, ES is going up, SPX is going up, and vice versa, right? It's not going to be SPY goes up, ES goes down, and SPX goes down, right? That's why the drawings are pretty much identical, right? We still have this imbalance zone. We still have this channel, just a little bit more lines because I am trading futures live tonight, and you all have seen my tweets, and we made a good amount of movement tonight for that. So, like I said, really dependent on what futures does tonight to give us that definitive answer for tomorrow. I did want to point this out in terms of what else is going on tonight or into this week, right? So I had tweeted this out earlier, 13 hours ago, right? So, oh man, it's cut off. So you can say like, here's the earning econs data for this week, right? Everybody's looking for NVDA on Wednesday, right? NVIDIA's on Wednesday. Now, I have not done a deep dive on NVIDIA. I haven't looked at the fundamentals. I haven't seen what they're planning to do. So I really don't have any insight. We're either going to rock it up or we're going to do a pullback and it's going to start pulling back to maybe like the mid 300 levels, right? I mean, over the long run, right? Not saying this week, but over the long run in terms of like from now until maybe the end of the year. But I'm not playing it. I will say that this is going to be a catalyst to what is going to happen for the rest of the market. Just like last time when NVIDIA exploded with that ridiculous, I think, 100-point move, the markets reacted positively and pretty wild to it as well. The other thing to keep note is, Jerome Powell is speaking at Jackson Hole on Wednesday through Friday. That's right. It's a 3-day event. So that will impact what the market does. Other key things is that, let me just look at it real quick. I'll try to put it on the screen for you all so you can see it. So we can kind of not quickly, but we can kind of just go over this so you can all see it. Econ data does have impact on what happens with the price, right? So Monday, 8:30, Canada's reporting its, house pricing month for month, year over year. So just be conscious at 8:30 if you're in futures positions. On Tuesday, we have our existing home sales month for month at 10. Then we have some Fed speakers, actually several Fed speakers, Barkin at 7:30, Goolsby at 2:30, and Bowman at 2:30. And then we have API crude, after market. But if futures are still being traded, Japan is going to report their PMI flash at 8:30 that night. So futures again. And then on Wednesday, the big thing is going to be, Canada's reporting its retail auto sales month for month. We do have our 30-year mortgage rate at 7 a.m. And then Britain, England, London is going to be reporting their PMI flash at 4:30 our time in the morning. The other thing to note is that we do have new home sales at 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. and 10:30 for crude and gas stocks is going to be big on Wednesday. Now, let me just pull up Thursday's data, right? So Thursday's data is going to be, I think that's, and also you can see on the bottom of the screen, you can see that it says Jackson Hole, right? So Jackson Hole, again, is going to be on that as well. So let's just kind of look at this. Let me delete the other one, or, I'll keep it over here so you all can see it. Let's just do it this way. Again, this is all my tweets, right? So if you're following me on Twitter, you will see this. I put this out every Saturday for you all. I give you the earnings and I give you the what important economic data is going to be happening this week. So on Thursday, durable goods, jobless claims, 8:30 is a big time. That's going to be helping us determine where the market's going to move for that day. And then Jackson Hole again. And then on Friday, we got 10 a.m. and 10:05, right? Powell speaks at 10:05, so expect volatility on Friday and also on Thursday morning. So that's what we got going on for econ data. Again, the big ticket item is Wednesday for the earnings. Let me see if I can put that on the screen for you guys as well. So here is their earnings for this week, right? So, key ones in my opinion could be Zoom on Monday after hours. You got Baidu, which is a Chinese company, on before Tuesday's open. So you would, if you're playing that Monday, Macy's, none one Lowe's. I would say here's a little secret for you. Go look at Home Depot, which is a home improvement store. So for those of you outside the U.S., Home Depot and Lowe's are home improvement stores, meaning that those are where you go buy products and materials to renovate or work on your house, your buildings, and whatnot. So whatever Home Depot did, most likely Lowe's is going to be doing the same thing, right? They're not going to have totally two different things unless they have some kind of terrible guidance and whatnot. But they are pretty much competitors. It's almost like, what's the best way to compare Pepsi and Coca Cola in the U.S. They're two different sodas companies, but very similar in terms of what they sell and their competition. The other thing I'd be looking at is on, let's see, obviously Wednesday, NVIDIA. Piton before, Piton's always been fun because it's always been wild in terms of bad earnings and just tanking like crazy. So I'd be looking at Pitons before opening, Nvidia after opening or after close. Let's see, on Wednesday, nothing else. I mean, there's other things. This is my own personal opinion, right? Whatever you like in terms of company you want to play, obviously people will play. I remember Dollar Tree. It's on Thursday before opening. Dollar Tree had a crazy earnings one time, and it took off, right? Marvel, Marvel's another one that a lot of people like to trade. Um, and that's it, right? I mean, obviously a firm, but firm's kind of has not seen any glory days since 2 years ago, right? I mean, it got pretty high and then just tanked. And then Gap company. So this is just kind of what's going on, but obviously all odds are going to be on this right here in video. So just be conscious if you are taking a position and you are planning to swing it into the end of the week. We just have a lot going on, right? We have, our very key earnings. We have some key economic events with Jackson Hole and Jerome Powell speaking. So just be aware of what is going on. And again, these are my tweets so you can see the exact time. And once you do take a position, mark off the times, right? 8:30, 10 a.m., 10:30, etc., right? Because as you can see by now, if you've been following me long enough, you can understand that once these times hit, you will see a reaction just like tonight at 9:15 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. The market did a big dip due to China reporting its prime rates, right? Anyway, guys and girls, thank you again for taking a listen to this. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give this a thumbs up and like and follow Twitter or X now, as it's called it, and leave a comment and let me know what you want to see next time. Thank you again. I'll talk to you later. Bye.